You hubristic president of Columbia University, if you feel the need to play State Department or Benedict Arnold, could you have the guts to do it without jeopardizing your fellow countrymen, you asshole? And I mean that from the bottom of my rage. Here's another tip. If you're sworn with the duty to protect and educate our students, maybe it's not a real good idea to invite a world sponsor of terror on campus. You would think this would be obvious, that it's neither protective nor educational unless you're training revolutionary militants, which very well may be the case, and I'm sure their parents are really proud. Also, let me add, do not bring a terrorist onto my soil and into my taxpayer-funded institution. You want to provide for an open exchange to get to know this man? Take your goddamn dumbass, anti-American, traitorous students on a field trip to Iran. I'm sure y'all would appreciate the atmosphere since the mullahs hate America almost as much as your kind of folks do. The heterosexual traitors should have a heyday. The women and gays, not so much. Are you too much of a coward to go? Well, that's what I thought. Then here's all you need to know to satisfy your shallow ego. Ahmadinejad said Iran has developed a strategic, quote, war preparation plan, end quote, for what he calls the, quote, destruction of Anglo-Saxon civilization, end quote. Seems pretty cut and dried to me. He wants to kill us. How do you infer let's chat from a death threat? Should we be frightened? I mean, how stupid is the administration in charge of teaching students that it can't seem to grasp the obviously stated? Are you really sure you're fit to run an institution of higher education if you invite a terrorist who has threatened to kill Americans on campus with American students? Really? Really? If so, another question. Most reports say your guest's so-called security detail are actually spies looking for and measuring targets. How can we be sure they will choose to blow up your office over a building filled with students? And another question, if a terrorist group with ties to Iran hits Columbia, can you be held as an accomplice or accessory before the fact, either criminally or civilly? I mean, I understand why you do it. After all, you're a goddamn traitor. You take millions for the school from questionable Muslim donors, then invite a murdering Muslim subversive to speak. No stretch there. Did they also tell you to pull the military programs off campus? I know how offended radical Muslims are by our military, since they usually blow their goddamn heads off. You claim you don't like the ROTC on campus due to its don't ask, don't tell policy. I can see how you prefer Iran's kill gays on site policy. Or do you really believe when your students ask him to reconsider his stance on homosexuals, he will have an epiphany and force the mullahs to rewrite over 1,000 years of the Quran to accommodate an exceptional 5% of the population? You're kidding, right? See, this is how people who don't have faith or a belief in something will fall for anything. Since you do not have faith, you do not realize how strong faith is. Ahmadinejad will die for his faith. Mark his and my fucking words. His faith states homosexuality is an abomination, which can be punishable by death. Do you think a lily-white coward with weeping eyes like yourself alone with your silly words really stands a chance against old Mahmoud and the faith he has sworn to uphold? I'm a dumb blonde and I see right through your hubris. Mahmoud is an animal who could watch you, or any of your students, murdered in front of him if found to be gay. You've been taught to be passive in all matters. Even if attacked, you shouldn't fight back. Just give your attacker what he wants. Yeah, if anything, you'll come around to Mahmoud's way of thinking, not because you actually believe him, you don't believe in anything, but purely due to the fact that you hate yourself and your country so much you cannot defend either one. Like I said, a coward. Now, I realize the word coward does not offend you. My point is that it does not defend you. Your family must feel secure with the man who believes he can think his way out of a violent crime without realizing his beliefs make him the perfect target. The kind that doesn't fight back, thus welcoming danger. Yeah, as your invitation to Mahmoud the terrorist proves. See, Lee, FYI, the pen is only mightier than the sword when the sword is not stabbing you in the back. In advance, may I applaud you for your efficiency in providing the enemy with propaganda and potentially jeopardizing the safety and lives of the students on campus. Thank you. You do realize you appear as much a fool to your murdering guest as you do to the rest of free-thinking Americans. Oh, no, of course you don't. You're a fool. Yeah. The founder of your school said knowledge without integrity is dangerous and dreadful. And I stand corrected. You're a dangerous, dreadful fool, Bollinger. No respect intended.